but I've got my East stuff over here and my Trails stuff back there. I just said Trails. I just did it because I'm so intent on pronouncing East right, because most people say ease and it's East. It's like supposed like the geese, like saying geese. East.
Saying geese.
And I just said Trails. I just said Trails as if that makes any sense. That is a word. That's an actual word in English. Trails.
Well, I didn't catch it until you emphasized it.
Yeah. I wasn't paying attention.
I felt stupid, and I thought I needed to rub my nose in it a little bit. I was a bad podcaster. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the JRPG Pursuit Podcast, a podcast about all things JRPG, from the games that we play, the games that we collect, the games that we wish we could collect because they're just way too overpriced, the games that we have sitting on our shelves under 3 layers of dust because we're not responsible with our playtime. I am one of your hosts, and I'm Branden, and I'm here alongside my 2 wonderful co-hosts. Would you introduce yourselves?
My name's Abdallah.
And I'm Emily.
And we are thrilled to be here with you today. We're going to be talking a little bit about collector's editions, JRPG collector's editions, and what makes them good and what occasionally makes them less so. But before we dive into that, I think we wanted to do some pickups, talk about some stuff that we've gotten. Yeah. So, Emily, why don't you take it away? Tell us what you got recently.
All right. So I've been on a bit of a Yu-Gi-Oh kick. There's a new collection coming out next year that I'm excited for because I've never played any of the Yu-Gi-Oh games, and I've been binge watching the anime. So I've, of course, had to pick up figures because that's what I do when I'm obsessed with something. So the first one that arrived, and unfortunately I have a few other ones I'll be showing off eventually.
Did you say
is my boy Kaiba here. And so this is his 1/7 Kotobukiya scale. I got him during one of the Black Friday sales. So this is kind of what inspired me to have some Yu-Gi-Oh figures as part of my collection, because I haven't dived too much into anime figure collecting. It's all been RPG or game related figures. So he has a game, so it feels not that bad to include him in my RPG and gaming related collections.
Yeah,
but
of course.
Yeah, he was like $50-something, including shipping.
That's not bad.
Super cheap.
That's a steal. Incredible
super
deal
cheap.
for that size of a scale. Yeah,
just the funniest expression. So I love it. Like, he's like cheering, and if you know anything about Yu-Gi-Oh, like he's the quote unquote like the bad boy who is like, this like
he's very stoic, isn't he?
Multi-millionaire, and all he's trying to do is become the best player by any means possible. But yeah, he has an interesting backstory, and I adore his character, despite him not being the hero.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, I'm really excited to finally play some of those games, because I hear there's some kind of RPG-esque Yu-Gi-Oh games that are okay. They weren't on the collection that's coming out, but maybe they will be re-released in the future. But a lot of the games are just based off of the card games, which I'm usually not a fan of card games, but I'm willing to give it a try because I've been on this little bit of a Yu-Gi-Oh kick. Did you guys ever watch Yu-Gi-Oh back in the day?
Oh, yeah.
I missed it. No, I did miss it.
I definitely watched it back in the day. Enjoyed the heck out of it. I played a little bit back in the day, like a little bit of the card game, but not much. But no.
Was it on Fox Kids?
I think it was on Fox Kids.
Is that what network that was on? Okay.
So.
Yeah, because I think it was just, I don't know how or why I missed it, because it was definitely the prime age for me to love it. But slipped under my radar.
I think the first season came out in 2000. So perfect time.
Yeah.
And was something that my brother and I agreed upon during our Saturday cartoon
Always
sessions of what games to watch or which things to watch.
Oh, okay.
So we were both into it. The other thing that I picked up that might rattle Branden here a little bit is the Etrian Odyssey Black Edition. So I was one of the lucky few who was able to grab it in time.
Can you show Branden the pin?
Here's a little salt. Yeah, show me the pin. Let's just rub it in. Here's a little salt. All right, let me see that. Oh, that's quite a wound. Let's try some of this. Yeah, no, I'm happy you got it. I'm happy you were able to get it. because
the
it did
funny
sell
thing
out
is,
like
this is the second
immediately.
time I've had it because I actually bought this years ago and then sold it,
Just like-
thinking I'll never have time to play one of these games.
This is like extra salt on that wound. It's not just once, Branden. Twice she's got on this.
So many times I can't even keep track anymore. Whatever. It comes and goes. There's a revolving door over
Yeah.
here. Who
I
cares?
did more Branden at the beginning. Like, I think you're not going to like this.
It is,
No, I'm
Yeah, I
happy
feel like
for
this
you.
is
I'm
twice
happy
now
for
that I've snatched up something before both of you. So,
that's true. Well, no.
roll the buy.
Yeah, you've established yourself as with the heel
Yeah.
turn here on this podcast.
Yeah.
So okay, all right. Let's see how it is.
Yeah, first it was
It is what it is.
Grandia for me, and
Yeah.
now this. You see, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
No, I'm happy you got it because it did sell out immediately.
Yeah.
So
It
you were
did,
one
it
of the
did.
lucky few to snatch it.
Yeah, I was still on the fence, like, do I really need this? But I love the 3DS long boxes, and I do have all the other Etrian Odyssey games that came out on the 3DS, so I felt like I needed it.
yeah.
That justified it all, of course.
Yeah. I still need. Is it the Fafnir Night? Is that the second,
The second one?
Yeah, I still need that one. I think that's the only one I need.
Okay.
Keep an eye out for me. Let me know.
If I see it, I'll let you know. It'll be the first to
right.
tell.
She'll let you know after
right,
she
perfect.
purchases it,
After she
I already have
finds
it, so.
and
Yeah, I don't
she'll
even
buy
need
a
this
second
but I'm
copy
just gonna
just
keep
so
it.
you can't get it.
Yeah. Keep it off the shelves, Branden. We can't let Branden get his hands on this. No good can come from this.
No good. But
Excellent.
yeah,
Well,
that's
that's
what I wanted
great.
to share. So who else has pickups that hopefully won't tear
Yeah,
apart the
let's see
podcast?
how Abdallah can piss me off
No,
next.
I
Let's
don't
go.
got anything to.
What do you got?
Mine is rather just tame and relaxed.
Oh, okay. I like that.
Yeah.
That's good.
It goes with the series in general. I picked up 3 Atelier games. One little annoyance is that I'll point out that I picked up Atelier Ryza 1 and 3. Unfortunately,
nice.
2 is not in stock anywhere. It's out of print.
Kind of hard to come by right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm on the lookout for that. Trying to find it for a reasonable price. It's going for a little bit high right now. So I'm waiting to see if there's
Yeah, it's
Branden.
real tricky to find. I don't know.
Yeah.
Where are you gonna pick up a copy of Atelier Ryza 2?
I have no
in this
idea,
day?
Branden.
It's still sealed. I haven't even played it. This is how little I care, and I just haven't even opened
Yeah.
it, and it's sitting here. No, I'm
You're just rubbing the wounds.
This is a
Well, I just wanted to have the
This
experience.
is an
I wanted
episode
to
of
experience what
sharing
that
it.
feels like.
this is an episode of salting wounds. Yeah, so I'm definitely trying to find 2 because I feel like with Yumiya coming out, I might make 2025 the year of the Atelier for me. So I might catch up on
Sure.
playing Ryza, but I also picked up also Lulua.
Lulua.
Because I don't know, it was on sale during the Black Friday on VGP, and I needed to get.
I think it was a good buy because I think VGP will be able to issue more reprints of the
Yeah.
Ryza games. The other ones, a little less so.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you have any other Atelier games in your collection? That,
This is my first.
like Sophie 2?
No,
Oh, you're
okay.
first. Oh, okay.
I need to.
So
Those are on my.
I recommend getting Sophie 2.
Yeah, that's on my list of getting.
I've heard good things about it.
I've
I have it.
my research online has told me that Sophie 2 is pretty good, so I definitely need to pick up that before that's hard to find.
Yeah, and then there's some other collections on the, if you want it for PlayStation, they're on the PS3.
Oh yeah,
And then, or
the
if you
Arlen
want the Switch
trilogy.
remakes ones, there's the 2 of the collections are on the Switch through PlayAsia.
oh yeah, PlayStation. Okay, yeah. There's a lot of them I know, so I'll have to catch up
Yeah, there are a lot.
and grab a few. But yeah, I'm excited to try these out and have maybe a more relaxed year. I figured 2025 seems like a good year to just cozy game it maybe a little bit.
Take some chillax time. Sure. Yeah.
Do some
I think it's a good plan.
fun times minus like other expensive games that we'll probably get into. Because you know
Sure,
us, we can't
yeah.
help it.
I know.
Yeah,
I
you
know.
can't resist.
I'm spending some time in Infinity Nikki right now. My wife and I are playing through that separately, but together. You know, she has her own account, and it's just charming and relaxing. And I rode a bike around, like a magical bike, and I put together pretty dresses to battle evil with. And yeah, it's surprisingly my bag. But as far as pickups go, I don't have anything here yet. I did order and expect it to be delivered tomorrow at the latest, is Fantasian Neo Dimension, which I think you shared last time.
Yes, on the last episode.
Because yours showed up, mine didn't. We don't live that far apart.
No.
So I don't know what the holdup is, but yeah, Fantasian Neo Dimension. I reviewed it, and you know that I like a game when I review it, and so they've sent me the code for free. I'm not paying for that, and I go out and buy the game. It's like, yes, I do very much like this game.
Branden's seal of approval.
That's got my That's exactly. So I'm excited to have that one in the collection because it's just great to play Hironobu Sakaguchi game again.
Yeah.
Like I didn't realize that I missed that until I played it. And I was like, oh yeah, this is what like the old Final Fantasy games felt like, you know, and like having a Nobuo Uematsu soundtrack in a world where video game soundtracks are made by like 5 different people now at a time. Like this kind of singular voice in the soundtrack is just super cool to me. So yeah, highly recommend it if you have not played it and you are open to kind of more old school. It's like old school in presentation in a lot of ways, but it's got some really interesting and unique new ideas as far as the gameplay goes. So yeah,
I
it's
think you could also use
too.
Other Square Enix title like music.
It's
strange.
I heard about that.
You can swap out various Final Fantasy tracks in for the battle music. I didn't ever really do that because I really like the battle music in Fantasian. But I suppose if you were grinding and you just wanted a little variety, you could switch it up. It's weird though. It's like a lot of tracks that he didn't write though. It's like you'd think you'd have like the first 9 or 10 Final Fantasies, but no, there's some from the Pixel remaster, which was his composition but not his arrangement. And then 7 Rebirth and stuff, and then 14. There's tracks from 14, and he didn't. I mean, he wrote the theme song to 14.
Yeah, he didn't do the whole.
Contributed that much. So. Yeah, it's just so good. I really, really, really like it. Yeah. So yeah, that's that. So without, I guess, further ado, we should maybe dive into our main topic, which is collector's editions. You know, we've talked, you know, in passing about various collector's editions on this show, on individual channels, on social media. Collector's editions are obviously a huge part of the JRPG space in particular. I would say probably even more so than a lot of other genres. You know, I know like action adventure games will get cool collector's editions from time to time, but with big JRPGs, it's almost like a guaranteed thing. You expect to see there's some kind of collector's edition with it. And I think what we've all noticed separately and kind of found consensus on together is that there's a really wide spectrum of quality in terms of, you know, companies putting together these collector's editions. I would say a wide spectrum of quality and also of price. And it's a pretty broad spanning thing. So yeah, we just wanted to talk about our favorites, some of the ones that we think are not quite getting it.
Or maybe we should start with the earliest one that we have here.
Yeah.
Maybe go through a
Let's
little
talk
bit
about
of
the
history
history
of
of
collector's
the
editions.
What is the so we were talking about this off mic. What is the earliest collector's edition? And the internet was not the most helpful. It gave us a
not a broad consensus.
Yeah, like we don't know / wrong information. So the internet was not any use. The first one that I remember as a kid was the Lunar Silver Star Story Complete box set from Working Designs. This was, I mean, when this game came out, and Dolly, you have it too, right?
Right over here.
Yeah. Yours is in a little better shape than mine.
Twinsies.
When this came out, this was the only way to buy the game. It wasn't like this was a special collector's edition. It's like if you bought Lunar, you got this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like you got the map and you got, you know, the art book and you got the CD and the making of DVD and all this
all the cool stuff.
I'll let you open it.
Yeah. And it just, well, yeah, I don't actually have the game in here. It's on my shelf separately, but Yeah, you get it's like
little, like,
hardcover. It's got
yeah.
a little one of those little bookmark things, you know. You got it's also like the instruction manual as well. So
yeah, it's really cool.
But you know, it's like really cool stuff, and it kind of established for me like the baseline of what I expect from that sort of thing, like the knickknacks, doodads, and et ceteras that come in these sorts of things. And then similarly, you know, Lunar 2, obviously, Eternal Blue. Yeah, baby.
Gotta love it.
You know,
I love it came with like the pendant and.
Yeah, the pendant is very cool. It has this whole omake box.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see that. Omake box.
For the
So
remake that's coming out next year, they did a collector's edition that's identical to this. Would you guys rebuy it?
100%.
Probably.
Like, I would not even question.
Even though this is like there are these little character standy things in here that I've never
opened mine. They're still in the back.
Yeah, that's it.
It's like all of this stuff is super like, yeah.
It's precious, but also it's too bad you guys aren't displaying it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're like
I
little cardboard little standees. Like they would have gotten destroyed over the years. I'm sure of.
And this is like this was Working Designs was like the proto company, like nerd company, because in their collector's edition for Lunar 2, in the CD soundtrack case, they included a spot for the Lunar 2 demo if you bought Vanguard Bandits. They had a demo of Lunar 2 included. So if you wanted to include the Lunar 2 demo with your box set, they put a space in here for you to do that. It's
you
like
should
that's
hunt down that demo
I
disc.
should, yeah.
That's true,
I really
yeah.
should.
I really.
Finally complete my set.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
I
like
mean,
it when they
Working
do that.
Designs. Yeah, I think it's cool. Like they did it with, I think,
Cold Steel. 1 and
XC
2.
did it for the Cold Steel collector's box. But yeah, Working Designs was all about these really cool, you know, collector things with all their games in the 90s.
Yeah.
And just very, very awesome stuff. I wish that I know that they still exist in some form. They're not called Working Designs anymore. It's what are they called now? Gaijin Works, I think.
Yeah, but I don't think have they done anything recently?
Not recently. They did the what's it called? I'm not going to remember off the top of my head, but they have a series that they tend to localize, and I haven't played them. It's like a strategy RPG thing, but they still are doing pretty elaborate collector's editions for those, so that's good. But you know, they brought over a lot of really interesting games too that might have been overlooked, like the Lunar games. You know, so yeah, I'm a big fan of that, and like I said, that really kind of set my expectations for what collector's editions should be, even though I didn't realize it at the time.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. And I think like it was interesting because like it really we had no idea, like it just came out and that was the only way to buy it. And I think at the time was it like probably I think it was $60 for. It
wasn't like it wasn't grossly more expensive than a normal.
It was like
game.
a normal cost of a game for the most part.
Yeah, I'm curious if people like who weren't used to collector's editions, they saw that and like, oh, I'm paying more for extra stuff I don't want. Because at the time, you guys were just buying games, right? Just physical games.
Yeah.
Everyone, like when I was buying Game Boy games, we'd throw out the box, just hold on to the game cartridge.
But I have heard people say,
I
have heard people say on the other side of things where like they actually picked it up because they were just like, what is this? Like, why is it coming in such a big box? Like, that's not something normal.
I think that was the intention there.
Yeah. So like, I think it definitely
make you
and
curious.
It works in their favor because I feel like everyone knows Lunar. It has such a reputation, I think, in this JRPG space, especially.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Everybody in our age
they
group
made a big name for themselves for better and for worse. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people have issues with Working Designs for some of their localizations choices, and I can understand that. But I always was a big fan.
Yeah,
so.
I think it's 90s charming in a cheesy way.
90s charming.
It's 90s charm. So like it's definitely, you don't go into it thinking you're gonna get like very like seriously toned, perfect one-to-one translations. It's very much a product of its time. Yeah. But that was everything.
It was a breath of fresh air too, that it was like readable.
Yeah.
for a Western person when localizations were only just starting to become readable. Like, you go back to the Nintendo and Super Nintendo era, and you know, there's a few standouts that were quite good, like the Ted Woolsey games, like Final Fantasy VI and Chrono Trigger, but a lot of games were just so poorly translated that it was really a breath of fresh air to see writing that felt like native English writing, because it kind of was. Like they were just
writing. Yeah,
it was very loosely translated, but to have it feel like that was cool. And I didn't know the ins and outs of translation back then. I just knew that this was cool and I liked it. So,
do you guys have any other older collector's editions you want to show off?
I think Branden, you have,
or maybe get more into some.
I've got one more. This is another Working Designs one. I have not played this game yet, but Growlancer Generations.
I've been intrigued about the Growlancers series.
Yeah, I think I have all of them that came out in North America now. This was, again, like when I was just buying everything, even if I wasn't intending to play it right away. But like this stuff, this was just like some of this stuff that came in here was like freaking watches and necklaces and ring, like just like heavy jewelry.
Like, so random.
So they knew what people like me were interested in getting in this sort of box. So
have you guys noticed like the quality of the items? Have they improved or gone worse over time? Do you think?
I don't know. I feel like
it's a little bit of a mixed bag, right?
It's a mixed bag. I think that overall things have improved just in terms of not just the quality of the materials, but like the stuff that's included, you know, with exceptions. You know, there's some that are just like kind of like I've said before, probably, I don't know if I said it on this podcast, but on my channel, certainly, that like the acrylic, just like single character acrylic standee things, I'm kind of over that. You know, I don't mind like the bigger display acrylic pieces. Like I have the one for East, and I think, Emily, do you have the one for Trails?
I have it. The one that came with Nayuta had a acrylic.
Yeah,
standee.
There's that one, but I was thinking of isn't there like a big one, like a full, like all the characters anniversary set thing?
Oh, that was, it wasn't included with the game though. That was a separate one.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean,
even Reverie had the
acrylics,
the smaller version of that.
Right.
So like instead of a steelbook or something, like they had like steelbook cover art as like a little, it was more of like a picture. That's made out of acrylic.
So when they have acrylic pieces that are like pieces of art, that's I don't mind that as much. But when it's just like the little characters, it's like I don't know. That kind of
especially
has
like
always
Dragon
felt
Quest
like the
3 HD 2D.
Yeah,
there's like do any of those.
So
like,
that
I guess
to
you
me
could
feels
form
like
them all together. Have a picture of characters, but that's just too much. Too much acrylic.
That one to me kind of touches on the, and I haven't seen it in person. I've never looked at it up close. So maybe it is really cool. I don't know. But looking at what it was for the price that it was going for, I was like, that seems like too much money for not enough interesting stuff that I would care about.
I paid so much less for my 20th anniversary Trails acrylic figures. Like there's 16 of those.
Yeah.
I paid maybe around $100, not $200.
Right.
Those.
Yeah.
Like the price just bonkers.
And I know the Square Enix collector's editions do tend to be on the pricier side. Yeah. Right. Like
and they also, you have to pay for shipping often if you're buying from their store.
I remember pre-ordering the Final Fantasy 16 collector's edition. I was like, I'm going to do it. I didn't do it with 15. I kind of regretted it because I really like 15. I was like, I'm going to get 16. And I did it. I bought it. And then I like sat there with myself for a few minutes and I was like, this is as much as a console. Like with tax and like it was as much as a new console. And then I canceled my order. I was just like, I can't do it.
The main issue with a lot of figures that are included in, like that was a full-on statue that they included. But oftentimes they just choose the cheapest manufacturer to make it's not like a high quality scale figure, like the Kaiba one I showed you for $50, or stuff like that. Like, I really don't think it's worth often for collector's editions to buy it for a figure, because especially for IPs that are going to get better figures from actual manufacturers who
From
specialize
like
in figure making.
Kotobukiya or
Yeah, like Good Smile, Kotobukiya, all those.
The Persona 3 Reload Aegis figure is not. It's fine, but it's not like it was a really expensive collector's edition,
and then
there's
they
not
have
a
the
ton.
price.
There's not a ton. There's not a ton in it besides that figure, so most of that is like supposed to entice you to buy it because of the figure. And when I got it, I was like, this feels. I felt like I have good figures and that I've spent far less on, and I'm like, this is not the best quality. And
there are better, I guess, figures out there too. Even like the pop-up parade of her is so much better.
Are going to be better. The Trails, or no, not Trails. Oh boy. Tales of Arise Collector's Edition has a statue figure thing, and that's actually that's actually quite good in terms of
Bandai Namco. I feel like they have decent figures. Yeah. If I had to compare all of the figures that have been in side collector's editions, the worst one is in Europe. Bravely Default got like, I forget the main character's name, but she just looks so like not like her. like it's horrifying, kind of what they did to that figure. Oh, God. We should pop it up on the screen, honestly, for the viewers who are watching this on YouTube. Like, it's horrifying. Oh God, how that figure turned out. But.
What's her name? Is it Anya? Is it Anyas like in Trails?
I don't think it's Anya. It's something similar.
Yeah. It's something with a GN that makes a nya sound. That's all I know for sure. Yeah. But that's
that's like the most like cursed figure I've seen.
That's unfortunate.
It's very
that
unfortunate.
Series definitely deserves better.
It does.
I'm trying to think of
they made a nice pop-up parade figure of her later on.
Did they?
That's been more recent.
Well, that's good.
Yeah,
that's
from
good.
Good Smile. But the one included in the collector's edition over in Europe, just cursed. We talked about the ones in the past, how they're kind of, they were cool. They included a lot of little knickknacks that was unexpected at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we do feel like the quality hasn't maybe changed drastically in the modern era. So, Branden, you mentioned one with acrylic stands that I think when they do it right, like, for example, Ease 8 that we talked about.
Yes.
This is a very nice collector's edition from NIS America, and they've released this on multiple platforms. It first came out on the Vita, and then on the Switch, the PS4, on the PS5. I happen to have the most recent version on the PS5.
Yeah.
They include like so many cool things, including these little bookends of the acrylic bookends of both Abdallah and Donna.
That's cool.
So I usually have it displayed together, kind of propping up the collector's edition box. But what was also really nice about this is I really love steel books in my collector's editions. And I think this is the only Ease game that comes with a steel book. My steel book is back there, if you can see it.
Yeah, let me see if I can grab mine. I think it's right here.
It's more accessible. But yeah, like when you open it up, like it's a really cool experience when you like open it and you see Abdallah there on this side and then Donna on that side.
This is just, for those of you watching,
that's really pretty.
This is just like the most gorgeous steelbook. Like just so it's like textured around the
a glisse of that. It looked beautiful. It was expensive.
Yeah,
it was pretty. But no, they have like a little art collection book. And then they have, I think this is like the journal or something that has like additional little tidbits about the game itself. And a nice little hardback cover there. I was told though that the cloth poster that comes inside is a little bit different than the other editions. So I do feel like a lot of these publishers who are manufacturing these collector's editions, they have to be very mindful about the cost, and the cost of goods have been rising, as we all know, for everything, including video games and collector's editions. So they've had to, I think, be a bit more creative with having a nice price point that people are agreeable when it comes to collector's editions, and also making sure that the products are still pretty good, even though they're a little bit maybe different than before. And this is what came with the acrylics and stuff, and I have my game back there, but yeah, I thought that was a really cool collector's edition, and I'm glad that they re-released it for the PS5, because otherwise it was going for bonkers amount of money for the other platforms.
I bought mine on the aftermarket for PS4 before the PS5 version was announced, and it was not cheap. But it's one that I don't regret getting, because it's just like I said, I think it's probably my favorite collector's package that any company has ever put together. It's just really cool.
Yeah. I like it a lot. I wish the E's 9 and 10 were kind of the same caliber. I like both of them, don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
and I like how
same.
they experimented with doing something a little bit different, but it still doesn't really hold a candle to what they did with 8, in my opinion.
Right. Yeah. The East 10 coming with the
bag,
Little satchel.
the little satchel thing that I have hanging up back here. I love that's cool. I like practical, even if it's like weird. Like I like practical stuff to be included in these sorts of things. Like like this watch, you know, like I'm never gonna wear this watch that came with Growl Lancer or whatever. But like
Growl Lancer,
I don't know, that's cool.
Maybe.
Like
Maybe you'll
bring
it out for a convention. Be like, hey,
it doesn't. I think
Check out my
the
watch.
battery's like been dead for 20
flash
years.
that around.
Yeah, you might want to remove that so it doesn't corrode.
Oh,
or actually, I don't know if
hopefully there's no battery in there.
Yeah, I don't know if the stopper was ever taken out of it.
Yeah, but the battery is
The
probably
thing
still.
that keeps the battery from.
Yeah, but the battery will still corrode.
It will, yeah.
I would pop that
That's
open.
the issue with a lot of electronics.
Yeah, well, whatever.
But
We'll deal with it at some point. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think this figure I'm glad they didn't have like a figure or something, because we are having beautiful figures from Kotobukiya coming out next year of Abdallah and Donna. So
The last temptation of Branden is those figures.
Is it the last temptation, Branden?
I mean, no, we know it's not. We know it's not.
That's not. That's a bull-faced lie. What do you guys like, in your opinion? Like when you look at price points for special editions, like what do you think is the ideal like place versus like stuff? I guess.
Yeah.
So I do think NAS America prices theirs pretty well.
I agree.
So all of their collector's editions have been $100 or less, depending on the game. I think the only exception has been Ease 10, which was $105 because they included a bag externally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And I also like how, like, not only the things that they include in there, I think is worth the amount of money, but display purposes, it looks really nice on the shelf.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're collector's editions. The boxes, show that off, Abdallah. Like
the artwork.
The boxes have really good,
like
really cool art.
A nice sturdy cardboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's made really well. Like I've got the Renatus one here. It's like the art that they choose.
Showing off all the NIS stuff.
Yeah, we're really.
This is all
fans,
the NIS
obviously.
boxes.
Of course,
Yeah.
we're NIS fans, but yeah, I do love like it's sturdy. Like, cause like my biggest problem is like when you open these boxes or you get them, sometimes they're ripped up.
They rip. Yeah.
We'll get into ripped things later. Branden has a show and tell show on that.
Show and tell. Yes. I think you showed it before.
You showed it
we'll
before,
do it again.
but
Bring it out again.
It is
okay,
topical.
I'll
It is
show it
topical. But I do also like that they're just like they're smaller, so like they fit. You can fit a lot more on the shelf.
Yeah, encourages you to buy more.
Right. They respect your shelf space.
They know
I like that.
They do. They do.
They respect the shelf space.
Exactly. And I don't know. I've just been I've not been disappointed with really any of their special editions.
I've had a couple of complaints. Something that we might get into with other publishers do the same thing is they only include a sample CD of like 8 songs.
Yeah.
That's always the bane of my kind of the collector's editions that I've had the privilege of buying and collecting.
And the thing that NIS America does with the sampler CD is they include the same tracks that are included in the game with like a download code digitally. It's the same ones that are on the CD. So actually all they've done is given me a burden of having this disc to like, what am I going to do with this disc now? Like there's no utility to it because I download the music using the code and then I have this disc.
The code was included in the regular edition. You didn't have to buy the collector's edition.
You didn't even have to
code.
buy the collector's edition. Exactly. So it's a premium item, but it's like, a CD, and I don't even have a CD player. Yeah, I don't have a CD player anymore. I don't have any way of using it.
Yeah, I always rip my CDs onto my computer, so I don't usually listen to them either individually. Like I like physical CDs as a way to obtain music that's harder to get, or if I just want to, like I have the whole Xenoblade collection of soundtracks because I really love that music and I wanted to kind of just hold on to it as like a commemorative piece. And after downloading it all, or
like I don't even have a disk drive, for my computer.
Nobody does
like, I do have a
no one does. You gotta get an external one.
I have an external one somewhere in a box, but like it's a huge pain. So I would love it if they could include, even if it's not, I would love it if it was the full soundtrack. Obviously, I understand that might increase the price a bit, and I'm personally okay with that. But if you need to keep the price low,
times with their collector's editions, including the full soundtrack, which is nice.
I would prefer that it be different tracks. Do another set of tracks for the physical CD. And then I can download the digital
I think
ones,
has to do with copyrights, and if they want to sell, the full soundtrack later on, that's what Falcom does at least.
Yeah,
so
I'm sure that's the case, and I understand. It's just if we're living in if we're living in a perfect world, that's how I would what I would ask for.
That would be nice. But I've yet to see. There's not many special editions that give you a full soundtrack. I don't think.
It's rare, unfortunately.
I don't think I've. Off the top of my head, I can't think of any.
I want to say Sakuna of Rice and Ruin did.
Yeah, I have a few that I'm going to show off today that had the full soundtrack, which is nice.
Yeah, and was it Silent? No, Trinity Trigger, I think maybe. Had the whole soundtrack in there.
That's another interesting, box set.
I don't know if it was a full one, but it was a beefy one.
It was definitely lengthy. I just assumed it was the full one because it was so many tracks.
Yeah, but Star Ocean Second Story, I think, had the full soundtrack on their collector's edition.
Oh
yeah. But that was also a very expensive one.
And some of the other ones that Square Enix.
It's one of those Square Enix.
That's by Motoi Sakuraba though, so it can get bent.
But there was a premium price to that collector's edition.
Branden.
I'm gonna make all the Motoi Sakuraba fans mad at me. I hate him. I do not like the man's music. I do not care for it. Anyway.
But I think we talked about sample CDs being a little problematic.
Yeah.
I also think sometimes sample art books are a little problematic.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I have like a stack of them.
I think it's cool. Like, we're going to continue talking about NAS America. Like, even with their standard editions, they come with a nice little character profiles that they include physically, which is really cool, I think, because we don't get stuff like that in regular editions of games anymore.
Yeah.
True.
But even when they, have the included art book, I can't say for Ys 8 be problematic because I don't think there's a separate deluxe art book you can get after the fact, but all the Trails series games, they come out with these nice art books that have all the art. It's fully encompassing. So you're only getting like a little sample.
You can enjoy the chibi art.
Maybe you'll eventually buy.
The nice chibi.
It's cute.
The chibbums.
I like their...
So I think, I understand sometimes why they don't give you all the art because it's spoiler heavy. And if they do DLC and stuff, they'll want to add that, later, of course. So the art books that usually come with collector's editions, they just give you a taste. And then if you want more of it, then you could buy it in a separate package. And it's usually not that expensive. It's like $30 to $40 usually is what I see the price range.
The music and the art, it's all just a tease to get you excited to go get the full thing.
Exactly.
I think so.
Yeah. I do like that the art book, I think it was...
I just wish it was different. Something exclusive, I think, would make it so that there's a reason to buy the collector's edition for that content.
Yeah. For me, I've always thought of it as like, okay, so like the NIS America ones are cheap enough where like you're already spending about close to $70 already in terms of like tax and everything getting it
for the game.
Yeah. And if you spend an extra like $15-20 to get some extra little like cool stuff, then makes sense. Like that's
I think it's less in the fence for sure.
Yeah, it's like a nice little like that's why I think like that price range is perfect because you're not really going too far above it. You're not getting into like the 200 range where like Square Enix finds itself in the mid 200s.
And Atlas and
Well,
I agree. Like I think the $100, $90 to $110 range for like what NIS America produces is great. Like I think that's a great price point. It allows me as the person buying the game to be like, yes, I'm excited for this game. Yes, I support this series. Yes, I support this company. And I have something to show for it, like the cool box on its own. Like I said, I just really love the art on the boxes. Very cool. What I like, honestly, what I would love to see is like some sort of deluxe version of certain games that maybe they even come out after after the game's been out for a while.
And they include all the DLC or something, all the patches.
All the DLC, the full game on the disc or cart. They include the full art book, the full soundtrack. Charge me $300 for that thing that has everything in it, the celebration of this particular game and this big, beautiful display piece or whatever. Like that, and you don't have to produce that many of them because not that many people are going to be crazy enough to buy them. I will, but not that many people will. And that would be a really cool thing to. No, that's maybe more people would than I think. But
the indie scene. Usually those games come out digitally before, and then they come out with a physical later on with a premium package you could get through different companies.
Yeah.
So I think it happens. It just doesn't happen with, the AA or AAA games that we're used to.
Yeah, that's
unless they do a repackage, like Final Fantasy 16. I thought maybe they would go like the 15 route and re-release the game with all the DLC on the disc, but they didn't.
Yeah.
That's a missed opportunity, I think, but I can understand why they didn't do that too.
And I'm not going to replay that game.
Disappointing sales
anyway,
and all that. So. Yeah. But there's also, other publishers that we've talked about. Atlas and Sega being one that they release, the vanilla game and then come out with the enhanced game later on with a primo package.
Yeah.
Like we've seen that with, Persona 5 Royal. More recently, SNT 5 Vengeance, though they didn't come out with a collector's edition. They just did a steelbook.
Yeah.
Kind of launch.
I was the excited person who bought Persona 5 Day 1 Special Edition.
Same.
And so I still have that I think it came with the bag, like the school bag and everything, and the little what do you call plushie. And
Morgana.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was a nice little.
So you bought the vanilla collector's edition. How many other ones did you buy?
I didn't.
I have the vanilla collector's edition. I have the Royal.
I did not
edition.
get the Royal collector's edition.
You didn't get the Royal one?
No.
Yeah, I got the PS4 Royal collector's edition.
Did you get the one more, whatever it was?
I did not. The treasure box one.
Yeah.
That one was heavily discounted, so I was kind of tempted, but I was like, I'm not buying this game a third time, Atlas. I'm sorry. Even if you would cut the price down significantly, I can't. That's not okay. Can't do it.
Yeah, they're trying to squeeze that as much as possible, it seems.
I know.
Yeah.
Persona's their, it's their cow.
Yeah, I'm a sucker, but even I have
Persona 5. They love it. I mean, it's a great game. So
yeah, the treasure box. I don't think there wasn't that many cool things inside there. So I understand why you'd skip it.
But I think Atlas as a whole, their special editions they're generally, my biggest gripe with them is that they're huge. Like they're not they're just massive. They take up so much room.
They don't respect the shelf.
Yeah. And
they do not.
It's so uncomfortable trying to figure out where to put them and what to do with them sometimes. And I wish they would make them more like art pieces on the box itself, because if they're going to be that big, at least make it beautiful looking.
At least make it beautiful.
Yeah.
It's like the key art from the standard edition cover. Like that's like the Persona 5 or 3 Reload.
Exactly. And I think the same thing with Metaphor. It's a nice little set, but the box, the art on the box is basically just the art that you get on the disc, like the main case. So it's
different.
It's slightly different, but it's not
it's just him looking up versus the crowd.
Yeah. But you're not going to get something just very artsy.
No, it's not as pretty as that.
Yeah, so
though I don't know, I like Metaphor. We've shown off Metaphor. Oh, yeah. I don't know if you could kind of see it. It's in the corner there. Yeah. A little
kind of, yeah.
Mine's somewhere back there.
Well, is one of those is that nice. The influencer box though? Isn't that a different, or is that the collector's edition?
The influencer box is this big.
Is it?
That's the collector's edition.
Okay. Influencer box. Man, where do you even put that after you influence it?
I may have one that I haven't shared yet.
I'm done influencing. What do I do with this now?
Where do you put that?
Mine's when I post my desk tour, you'll see what I do with mine.
I'm excited to see that.
Propping up a wobbly chair leg.
She's actually currently sitting on it.
It's a good storage compartment, honestly. It's a big box.
Yeah. If that's that big, okay. Yeah, but I think the Metaphor ReFantazio had a really cool special edition. I really liked the little pins that you get for the teeth stuff. It came with a lot of really interesting things, but they are like
I like the double disc for the OST, though it wasn't just Metaphor songs. They had other Atlas songs, which I thought was weird.
Yeah.
Like they tried to make that too much of a celebration of Atlas games than highlighting Metaphor or even Tasha's at their new IP.
Yeah, that was a bit of a weird choice on that. But like when you open the box though, like there's so much wasted space that you're like, it could have made this box smaller. Just slightly.
Yeah, and it was also prone to just breaking.
Yeah.
Like that was very not secure cardboard and holding up the game and other items.
Yeah. So
a lot of people have reported having, like, I think what you can do if you, I don't know if they're doing it anymore, but they were, if you emailed Atlas or something, they would send you a replacement inner box art.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Because like the box itself is not very strong. And it being very big when you're moving it around it's prone to.
It's so hard to, reliably buy or order collector's editions in the mail now because you don't know what's going to happen when it arrives. Is it going to be torn to shreds? Like, I think this is the time to see it.
Branden is currently showing
Trails into Reverie.
Yeah, for those on audio,
here.
There's a depressing scene of carnage.
Completely destroyed box here. Like, I don't know how you could even get destroyed at that state.
It's a scene of a crime right here. It's a Trails of Reverie.
It was ground up.
What did they like? Did they chew on it before they sent it to you?
It does look like there are some teeth marks here for sure.
There must have been some dog, or I don't know.
It was a machine. They said it was a postal machine that it got stuck in and got ground.
And they
up.
still sent it.
They were just like, sorry. Yeah.
They're
like,
because
sorry.
they knew it. They knew it.
Compensate.
Like they knew. Like after you asked them, I got chewed up, and you're like, so you still sent it? But. Yeah, that's a.
Yeah, you can try to make it fit together. It looks perfect,
and it's impressive because like that's actually like a pretty strong box.
And in America also, like they don't put it in like a bubble mailer. Like they
no,
put
it was in a full-on box. Yeah,
box when they ship it.
It's like the post office. The post office had to try to to grind.
Yeah.
Up.
I do love the way NIS America ships it because like it is like a perfectly sized box that fits right in with like nice and wrapped inside. So,
yeah, they actually put bubble wrap in it. Some other publishers don't always do that.
If I try,
fortunately, Emily had an extra copy of this that I could buy off her because I was like, because they were sold out. It wasn't like I could just reorder it, and I wasn't able to get through to their customer service. And I was like, because I'm sure they insure it. I'm sure they had insurance on their shipments. Like that would be crazy if they didn't.
Companies, they hold certain, quantity just in case for because something's bound to go wrong. If you're that big at scale, there's always going to be some mishap.
There's going to be failures. Yeah, this came out during the time when they were transitioning to their new CRM, and so like their customer service was really down. It was just bad timing for everything, and I was just like, so I gave up. But yeah, it all worked out in the end. I have it. It's good.
That's true.
So.
Yeah, but
it's a nice box.
It is.
Outside of that, like for like Metaphor and stuff like that, I usually try to like for those I would buy them from like Best Buy or something, so that way I can actually go to the store and pick it up rather than
in person.
Yeah, because I know.
That's what I did before this guy.
Yeah, same thing I did.
So I could actually get the steel book because some of those pre-order bonuses they don't always ship it.
It's true.
You're not always guaranteed if you buy it online.
Yep.
Especially Best Buy.
Yeah.
So that's why our Rebirth, I went there in person because that steelbook was what made me basically buy the collector's edition.
100%.
I had to order a third, like a custom-made steelbook for Crisis Core because Best Buy did not ship the Crisis Core steelbook with my order like they were supposed to.
You're a victim.
Yeah.
Do you
have a local one? Like next time, definitely try to pick it up in person.
That's what I usually do nowadays. I don't like having anything shipped unless it's like something I don't really care about.
The only time I resort to shipping is if there's no other option to pick up in person, or like GameStop is my very last place, or no, sorry, Amazon's my very last place. Them and GameStop are kind of tied when it comes to collector's edition. And
I haven't bought anything from GameStop in years. I don't trust.
It's been a while for me, so I'm glad that's been the case.
Do you have a GameStop by you, Emily?
No. The one that we did have,
I didn't think
closed.
you did.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
That next closest one, miles away.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're everywhere by us, but yeah, I don't go in there. It just smells like the strongest weed, and it's not pleasant to walk into.
There's nothing there though anymore. When I go in there. It's just like a bunch of weird.
Yeah, it's like if I want to get a contact high, it's a great place to get a contact high. It's not a great place to buy games anymore. Yeah. So
I think it depends on your region. Like it's very region specific of what your experience at GameStop will be. Because there's some like, retro GameStops now and some other ones that are probably more well stocked.
I thought you meant that the level of weed smell varied depending on your region. You might not get a contact high in Montana GameStops, but Northern Illinois, watch out, okay? Don't make sure you've got a designated driver.
Sorry, that totally flew in my head when he said contact high. I was like, wait, you mean like you're touching a game?
Oh, that's too good.
I got it now.
It just flew right over.
This is what happens. Your jokes always fly over my head. I'm like, okay, I think I get it.
Anyway.
Oh man, this is payback. I got it.
Yeah.
He got you. He got you.
He got me. Got me good. But what was I saying? Yeah, like
the region varies significantly.
It does for GameStop, from my understanding. At least from what I've seen on YouTube videos, because I know their frame of reference now.
Yeah, I was always like weary of like GameStop's retro stuff. I mean, that's a whole different conversation that can get into a tangent.
It is.
Because, but like, they're just like the people who work there aren't professionals in terms of like figuring out whether like it's a repo or things like that. Like, there's a lot of I've seen a lot of problems come around with that, like fake Pokemon.
They claim they're trying to hire or do some sort of training for this, but I don't know. I'm skeptical still.
Yeah, I don't see that being the case.
Like, I hope that they're able to figure it out. I really do hope they can figure it out, because as much as I love and support local game stores, there's nothing wrong with some competition, like having a broader chain that can support the retro scene. Like, you know, because not everybody has a local game store, but like you're much more likely to be within decent driving distance of a chain store like that. Yeah. So sadly, I think it would be great. Yeah. Not you, but everybody else.
For GameStop, they have exclusive like items too. I think now they're running some sort of, you get this Mario pin, like Christmas pin set if you buy $100 worth of Switch games, which I thought was cool.
Oh, really? That's cool, yeah.
Like if I had a GameStop, I might be inclined to try. I don't know.
That's true.
Oh, well.
It's just me being salty because ours closed during the pandemic.
Lost a sale, GameStop.
There you go. Open one near somebody.
In my area.
In your area. I remember I think Best Buy had it. It was like a promotional, like, is during the Mario All-Star period where they had like these like little gold coin, like it was like these coin package.
Yeah.
That came with it or something.
And I like their steelbooks that they do for pre-order often, though I don't know if they've done one recently.
Yeah.
For new games. It just seemed like they're kind of not doing that as much, which is sad.
I think I'm trying to remember if my Vengeance came from Best Buy or something like that. But I know they did it.
Well, that was not necessarily a bonus.
That's not bonus, yeah.
Right? That was included.
I think they did one for Like a Dragon, didn't they?
Yes, I have that one.
Yes.
It wasn't that
great.
I don't know. Some of the Yakuza art it's not my style.
Yeah.
It's funny, but it's not my style.
Yeah. But yeah.
Like I think it's this like ugly gold steelbook. I don't know.
It's a
Or no, the Best Buy one was the red and black one. Yeah, with their faces.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, but we were talking about how some collector's editions do not respect our shelf space.
Yes.
So I have a good example of this, but this happens to be also a collector's edition I do enjoy. So I talked about this game, I think last episode, Sword and Fairy, Together Forever. Yeah. And you'll see I'm trying to make it so it fits all the screen here, but it's very long.
Emily for context. Emily for scale, sorry.
Emily for scale, yeah.
But this is the premium collector's edition through Serenity Forge, and I guess I should disclose I did get this as for free to review last year, but it's a really nice collector's edition. It comes with a plush, it comes with a play mat because it includes this card game that's part of the game, and you can also use as like a mouse pad or desk pad. If you, it's I used that for a while before getting my Trails one that I'm currently using. It came with a really nice steelbook, which I think you could see back there on my shelves.
Yeah, on the right. Yeah.
And the regular edition also came with some extra goodies, like it comes with these cardboard standees, and this is also the collector's edition I alluded to of having the full soundtrack available. So it came with a 2-disc CD with lots of songs, and I think when I ripped it, so you could get it, I think there was a digital code to have it digitally, and they also gave you the physical CD, so you didn't have to rip it yourself.
Oh, that's cool.
That was nice. It took up a lot of space because there's a lot of songs on there, but they're all really nice, and they have a lot of traditional, like Chinese sort of instruments and some other kind of cool modern versions of those. But
yeah,
anyway, I like
think
the game a lot. Just this
that
is huge.
stuffed animal, the stuffed animal that's in there, is that the little leaf? Has like a
The
little leaf on
fairy
it.
guy. I have it way up my shelf. I don't know if this is gonna.
I think that's the thing that your daughter has now, Abdallah.
yeah.
So I think I still have mine. I met the CEO of Serenity Forge at PAX, and he gave me they had them like separately bundled or packaged or whatever. So he gave me an extra one, and I was like, this looks really familiar when I got it home, and I was like, oh yeah, I think this is part of the collector's edition I already have. So I figured she'd enjoy it more than I would.
It has like a little leaf you could position it because it has a wire in it. It's really cute.
Yeah, super cute.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a big one. One cool one bring up is the Octo Traveler. Octopath Traveler one. Just because like it was such a creative one.
Made a splash when that came out.
I know.
Everyone wanted that collector's edition.
Like I just love because like this
the pop-up book,
because like the game felt like a pop-up. Like it was such a like that's like one of those things where they took like the aesthetic of the game and they just like incorporated it into this like special edition, which is like it's like some extra work they put into there that was really cool. And then you get like the coin and the like music sound selection, so you don't get the full soundtrack, but you get some things.
It is a good, decent like selection of tracks. I thought for a sampler.
It's not just 8 songs.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But it's like going through these different like little like pop-ups. It's just cool. Like it's just such a little like fun thing.
Really cool.
Yeah, I like that. My one gripe was that I thought that it was a separate book. It's like built into the box.
Yeah.
So I had like intended of just displaying the book, and you can. It's like you have to have the whole box out there. It's not a big deal, but
it's hard to display it the way you want it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it is a really cool collector's edition.
I'm sure there are creative ways to display it, though.
You could, and I think technically you could rip it out of there. It's just glued in there, but I wouldn't.
That hurt a little bit when you said that.
Yeah, I was like, oh,
I don't want it. I don't want it that bad. Well, I have a favorite, I think possibly favorite collector's edition, but it's not JRPG. Can I share it?
We'll allow it.
Of course. I'm going to share one that's not JRPG in a moment too.
Okay.
Though on the opposite spectrum. Disappointing one.
Right. I've said before that I'm a big Myst fan, and for I don't know what anniversary it was, 25 something, 30. They put out this replica Myst book, and the coolest thing about it is when you open it, you get the linking panel, and then it like comes alive just like in the game, and it's the
music playing, everything.
It plays the music, and if you touch it, you actually go to Myst, which is very cool.
Screen?
Yeah. So, bye. And then I'm going to edit myself out of the video, and I'll be gone for the rest of the video.
That's so cool.
Yeah. But yeah, so
I love creative collector's editions where you can't just find that, any sort of collector's edition. Yeah.
It's very unique. It's very fitting. It's like you said with the Octopath one, it's like very fitting for the game. And then the bottom part of the book opens up and you've got drawers that have, like this is where the actual games are. They're inside the little drawers on it. So it's just super cool. That is really cool. Like very cool packaging. Love that thing.
Yeah. It's like, RPG adjacent in the sense of like narrative.
Yeah.
I think I think it works.
Narrative.
I'm sure it inspired some JRPGs in some way.
Yeah. It inspired me.
There you go.
So there you go. Emily, tell us about your disappointing one.
My disappointing one, again, not a JRPG, not an RPG either. But this is one that I waited a long time for, and they kept delaying it, saying they're working on the box. There were some, issues with their manufacturer and everything. And when it eventually arrived, I was like, oh, this is it. That is my Psychonauts 2, another big box, collector's edition. And this is through I Am 8-Bit. And how they were doing their collector's editions for a long time was they wouldn't show you all the details when you pre-order it. So they kind of made the image of the box a mystery, which the box is okay. It's just not that interesting, right? Like it's it's okay. Like it's
fine.
Nothing stands out. Like doesn't stand out. There's no reason to make this a mystery, right? And unveil it when you get it. So that was a little bit disappointing by itself.
It's the swirls.
The main reason why I ordered this though is because I was interested in having both the first and second Psychonauts game on disc on the PS4 because I missed out when they first printed the first Psychonauts game physically on the PS4. So I thought this was the opportunity to get both of them together. And so when you open it up, there's just so much wasted space. That is my main gripe with this. Like it comes with a sticker pack, which is cool and all. Not that I actually use stickers that come in collector's editions. So I always feel a little bit mixed about getting paper goods that are supposed to be usable. Some posters here that I won't show. Another poster, I think. Pin sets are cool. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's not like enamel. It's not a hard enamel pin. I think it's a soft enamel pin, which is always kind of a step lower for me.
Yeah.
But just look at this. This is where the two games are, and that's it. That's it.
Oh. How much was the special edition?
That box is.
That's a thick boy. Yeah, how much was it?
It was expensive. It was like 100 something. I was like, I know I'm paying for 2 physical games, but like, I don't know. It was all disappointing. Like I knew going in that this is what was included. I just thought the box would be a bit better, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't regret it because I wanted to have again the first game physically on the PS4, so it'd just be easier for me to play than trying to figure out how to hook up my PS2 and play my original copy. But I don't know. At the end of the day, I kind of regretted buying it. I was like, did I need it? Probably not. So it's sitting kind of on my up there, out of sight, out of mind right now.
Yeah.
I think my most recent disappointment was the Persona 3 Reload, which we kind of talked about earlier with the quality of the figure. Like I got it because I was like, am I going to be a scale figure guy? Is that something that I'm going to add to my personality? No. Well, but what,
it's not
like, well, okay. But like, am I going to be a figure guy? Okay. And I thought maybe I would attach that to myself and become that person.
Well, you're like a Persona guy, so you wanted to have their collector's editions, right?
Yeah, that was kind of the one that helped convince me that I needed to stop it and just focus on the handful of series that I really want to have the collector's editions for. Because I got it. Okay. I'm just like, I don't know. That's not
learning experience here, right?
Yeah,
we could buy things, regret it, but then you learn from it, you know?
Yeah, a little personal growth moment. So, yeah, that's my recent failure collector's edition.
Yeah.
Do you have any failures, Abdallah? Are you satisfied with all the ones you bought?
I feel like most of the ones I've bought are good, I think. Yeah. I mean, for the most part, I think like they're I mean, I would say like the Tears of the Kingdom one is way too big. Well, I think when you compare it to Breath of the Wild, it pales a comparison, right? Yeah, but like with Breath of the Wild, it came
the biggest thing against that one.
Exactly, like Breath of the Wild, like it was such a good set because like I still like I was saying we were off the discussion we were talking about earlier. I still use my Switch case like came with it, so I had like the Zelda case and like that was so useful for me.
Did you get the Master Sword edition? Or
the Master Sword edition.
That's a cool display piece too.
Yeah. And so the Tears of the Kingdom one is just like it came in an equally big box, but with like just substantially less stuff, and it was just like a lot of wasted space as well. Which, I mean, it had some nice things like it had the map and
I noticed with the art book, they didn't translate it to English, which was
Really?
weird.
For Nintendo?
I was shocked.
Like, that
They
seems
put,
like a big...
little effort into that, I think.
Very little
weird.
effort
Yeah.
for such a monumental game, right?
I know.
I feel like Nintendo doesn't emphasize the Japanese-ness of its products over here really ever.
Yeah.
So, like, to not even translate the art book is super strange.
I was really surprised.
Yeah.
Like, they even translate, the art books that come out after the fact. So I was like, why didn't the one in here have a translation?
Yeah. But thankfully, most of everything.
Speaking of that, other publishers do the same thing, though.
They do.
The Gust ones include art books that are also not translated. Because and you can buy this on NAS America's website here in the U.S. I think, and also Europe, but they don't make these. They are just a distributor for Gust, I believe, is what their partnership is.
Yeah.
And these are so much more expensive than the NAS American ones we were talking about earlier. And there's there are fewer things in here.
Yeah.
So I keep buying them because I'm a sucker for Atelier, and I have the Yumio one coming too. And that one was really expensive.
Yeah.
That was like $160.
That was expensive.
I know.
Gust and Koei Tecmo they do not put the most effort or money into their localization process. So it's like, it's not shocking
anymore.
to me that I know they used to. And that, like, I thought their dubs and stuff were pretty solid back in the day. But yeah, they just stopped investing in the English market as heavily. Like I guess they felt like they reached an equilibrium where people were willing to overlook and just like be satisfied with it.
Yeah, they thought they had enough reach over there. They didn't need to expand further because those who really want their play their games, they'll get used to, or they're already used to reading subtitles.
They'll play the Japanese with subtitles, and that's fine by them. Which is, I mean, it's a bummer for me personally.
It was hard with Rise of 3, especially because there was just so much text on the screen, and it's hard to read it and how tiny it was.
And I know this doesn't affect most people, but it can also even be an accessibility issue if you have a hard time reading text on screen. You need the voice, it just dampens your ability to even play it. So it's further frustrating that they don't even give you an option of having an English voiceover anymore. But that's not what we're here to talk about.
I assumed Yumia would have that. I don't know if they've disclosed if there's going to be, because I know there's English voice acting right in the trailer, or no? I think it was just subtitles.
Subtitles is what I remember.
I can't quite remember.
Yeah, I don't know. You would think though they would try to circle back, but maybe not yet. We'll see. They'll have to eventually do that again.
And then give us English art books too.
Yeah.
Why not?
They have actually with Rise of 1 and 2. They localized those art books, which I thought was cool. They haven't localized the third one yet. I don't know if they will. I don't know how well the first two sold over here.
You know what art books need to be?
So, baby steps.
We need to get some translated art books, and that is from the Xenoblade world.
Oh.
Because those that's where it really matters, because Takahashi
because Takahashi's talking about stuff in there.
He has so much lore that he spills in those art books that are not anywhere else.
Is the Xenogears Perfect Works book, that there's a translation of that, but is that just
it's a fan
translation?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can actually buy they make you can go on Etsy and someone made a hardcover version of it.
Yeah, I saw that, and I wanted to be sure that was being translated, which is fine.
It was never translated for here.
Yeah. Some people say we have advanced phones, we could use Google Translate image to read it if we wanted to, but it's not the same.
It's for Xeno stuff, there's so much nuance in what he says, and he also he's very subtle about his sometimes when he drops something that you kind of have to know the context of how he's saying it. So Google's not Translate's not going to be able to get that.
RPGs, there's so many made up words.
Exactly.
And stuff. How Google Translate going to handle that?
Right.
It's going to handle Nietzschean mixed with a bunch of all this other stuff.
Jungian psychology, and it's trying to sort out. Yeah, no, that's too tricky.
It's going to be too much for Translate.
I'm sure the actual localizers had a hard time with it. But
probably
they probably had at least some access to him. So.
Yeah, exactly. I think they probably have to work with his team at least a lot to figure it out.
They From what I could tell, it's been it's been working well.
Yeah. The
right?
translations are great.
Yeah.
Better than they've ever been.
I haven't heard any complaints about them, but I try to tune out complaints. Too much complaining on that end.
Wait,
I
you don't enjoy
I don't listen to localization.
I don't want to
localization controversy anymore. It's just
I'm
like
over
not
it.
it's not an argument that you can win, and it's not an argument worth having. So it's like whatever.
Yeah.
It's fine. Well, anyway, we've talked about a lot of collector's editions today and related
The
topics.
good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah, the ugly is still. It's always going to be here. I'm gonna if I ever move, this is coming with me as a reminder. It's like this is what can happen.
When you stress, he chews on it.
Be grateful for what you have. Yeah. So, anyway, I think we had a good episode here, folks. I hope you agree. And let's talk about a little bit about where you can find us on the internet. Abdallah, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Bluesky at Abdallah998.
And Emily, where can we find you?
I'm Orbalology over on YouTube and other social media platforms.
And I'm Just the Gems on YouTube. Search me on all the socials, and I'm sure you'll find me, Just the Gems. So, yes, thank you all once again. I skipped right over the question of the day.
We should ask, what their favorite collector's editions are.
Let us know your favorite collector's edition and why. If you don't mind, tell us why it's your favorite.
Love to hear
was
why.
it something that was included? Was it the cost? Was it some combination of those things? Let us know. We would love to hear it. Yep. I guess with that, we will say goodbye for now. So goodbye.
Bye.